I'm live. So I am going to check the sound and then we're going to dive right into it. I'm so excited for this session. You're either catching the replay on YouTube or the Mighty Network Soul Centered Portal, Heaven on Earth Portal, or you are here with me live. I send this to my clients in a one-to-one container as well. So I will just share the link once it's uploaded. Let's have a look. Can I hear myself? Hello, hello. Yeah. Perfect. Sound is on. So I really want you guys to just be in a meditative state. And the way that you do this is completely up to you, but I will guide you. I've been in meditation all day today, to be honest. And the way that I went into an altered state of consciousness is by expanding my energy field. I closed my eyes and I felt and I saw and I experienced in my bodies, my energetic field just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And it started getting bigger than the room that I'm in. And then my energetic body, my auric field, started actually moving out of the space that I'm in, the property, the home that I'm in. And my energetic field started getting bigger than the earth. And I almost felt like I was one with the entire planet in terms of an energy body, in terms of the expansion. So expansion is in all directions, north, south, east, west. So that way we're still so grounded and rooted into our core. And I kept expanding beyond the earth. So then I went into the entire galaxy and the entire cosmos, and I felt it and I visualized it, and I was really present in that experience, seeing what I saw, feeling what I feel. And I'm doing it right now. So this is very present right now, where I'm expanding and expanding. Now I'm going beyond this plane of existence, going through a portal of white light in all directions, and I'm expanding through another galaxy, because once we've kind of expanded through this plane of existence, then we enter into the higher planes of existence, including the descent, including the lower planes of existence, because expansion goes out in infinite ways. So we're expanding beyond this plane, we're expanding beyond the lower planes of existence, the organic, the inorganic, the mineral kingdom, the plant kingdom, the unseen. Then we're expanding through the ancestor realm, which is a whole nother plane. Then we're expanding through the fifth plane of existence that has layers within it, where there are ascended masters and there are all these different light beings. And then we're expanding through the sixth plane of existence, where there are the angels, the sacred geometry, the laws of the universe. There are no beings, there are rather structures and frequencies and sounds and vibrations. This is the realm of vibration. And then we're expanding all the way into the seventh plane of existence, pure source light. Now, these planes of existence all have different names. You know, you can call it going through the Buddhic realm, the monadic realm, the logic realm, which it's essentially the chakras of the universe, or the layers of abundance and prosperity of the universe, the micro and the macro. And our body represents the same thing. So just like our body has an energy field, so does everything else. And so I just want you to just be boundless. Just, you are everything. And the way that you do this is just you feel and witness your energy body just expand out to infinity and beyond. There are no limits to your expansion. And I want you to feel what you feel, see what you see, hear what you hear. And I'm just going to be in 2 minutes of silence, breathing in and out, giving you downloads through this altered state of consciousness. through this brainwave. So just take a deep breath in. And out. Breathing in. Breathing out. Now I want you to place your hand on your heart, either the center or literally on your heart. Connect with that expansive state where you are expanded to pure source light, pure unconditional love, and also the 0 point. I want you to feel your heartbeat. I want you to give your heart some energy of love, unconditional love. Now I naturally and intuitively am just saying I love you to my heart. Superconsciousness, it is commanded that of pure unconditional love healing, Christ light, Christ consciousness, Christ love, infinite love, divine love, truth, pure love. It is commanded that this energy from the highest perspective, the highest definition, the Creator's perspective and definition of Christ consciousness, Christ like love, agape, spiritual love. Teach me what it feels like in every cell of my being. And I'm downloading this for you. When I say teach me, I'm just actually asking this to be transmitted to us. Teach us what it feels like to experience pure spiritual love from your perspective and definition in every cell of our being. Thank you. It is done. It is done. It is done. Superconsciousness, it is commanded that we have an intimate, divine, affectionate, mutually reciprocal, loving, respectful, heart opening relationship between you and I. May I be your assistant, your co-creator, your support, as a conduit, as a channel, in a loving and easy way for the highest good for all. Thank you. It is done. It is done. It is done. Superconsciousness, it is commanded that all the chakras are now received in unconditional love, balanced, harmonized. Bring unconditional love to every cell, every nadi, every meridian, every chakra within the multidimensional field. Thank you. It is done. It is done. It is done. Creator, teach me what it feels like to be present and to graduate all initiations into being. Teach me who I am as pure being. Teach me how to live without the world of becoming, live without linear time. Teach me who I am without that. Teach me how, show me how, guide me how, integrate now as an instant activation, what it feels like to be and experience the eternity of being. Thank you. It is done. It is done. It is done. So I just wanted to give you those downloads, and I just want you to continue to feel them and have your eyes closed. I'm in a really meditative state, almost feeling like sleepy. And I've been feeling like that all day. I think something's going on cosmically, or it's part of the cycle, the menstrual cycle. But today's a powerful day. I can feel the energy of today. From that activation, I feel very clear. And I'm transmitting that clarity to you, because the download that I've been sharing with my clients this week in clinic is clarity, attention, and emotional intelligence. These three words are just popping up all the time. Like it's just like right in my face. Emotional intelligence, emotional intelligence, emotional intelligence, clarity, 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 attention, attention, attention. And it's very clear to me that Source is showing through revelation that we are being asked to pull our attention back into our own internal landscape, to release any leaks, any hooks, any imbalances where our attention is on the thing that doesn't truly serve our self-creation journey and is rather self-destructing, and to really bring that attention to the true priority. Now, for me, the true priority has always been God. That's my number one priority. My spiritual evolution, more than business, more than anything, because that's the number one relationship for me. And that's just my journey. That's just how I feel. And I'm doing that. And so I want you to see where your distractions are. And right here, right now, we're releasing your distractions so that you can have a deeper intimacy with God. And it might not be God for you. It might be universe. It might be source. It might be creator. It might be the divine. It might be Mother Earth. It might be Father Sky. Whatever your higher power is, your creator, your truth is around the truth of who and what you are, we're talking about that. I want you to have a deep intimacy. Now, I share my journey to activate you through metaphor. And so for me, I've been praying a lot. And not the traditional prayer. I'm talking about just like you would have a conversation with someone that you have unconditional love for. You know, you can be yourself, you can receive. It's like there's no effort. It feels easeful. It's like that with my relationship with God now. It's just really like there's no seeking, there's no grasping, there's no grabbing, there's no needing, there's no desperation. There's still asking, but it's asking from a place of command rather than powerlessness. It's like, I command that. I command that. You know, I can't even give you an exact, because I'm so present right now that I don't even have anything right now to command. I command that I graduate all initiated thresholds. I command that Christ-like love, Christ consciousness is permeated through every cell of my being. I command that I embody the whole truth and nothing but the truth. I command that unconditional love animates my life. I command unconditional love to be sent to all the beings that I'm here to serve. I command that my spiritual community finds me and I can find them. Thank you, it is done, it is done, it is done. So attention, emotional intelligence, clarity, and command now. Now, when we're clear, we simply take the action. We simply know. But so many of us are either in conflict, torn, unclear, unknowing. And it is a paradox of knowing and not knowing. Right now, I've taken a massive leap of faith by closing down the clinic and only serving one-to-ones exclusively. And that was always the plan. That was always something that had to happen for me to scale and utilize my time wisely and my gifts wisely, because I'm here following God's command. So imagine the level of clarity where you, because you forge your own path, and because you're an innovator and you're a disruptor and you're a visionary and you're here to create the new, there's no blueprint to follow. You are the creator of your own blueprint. There's no map that is given to you because you're the creator of the map. So how do you navigate that? How do you navigate when you're in the dark and you can't see where to go? Well, the way that you navigate that is through synchronicity, through support, through guidance, and not moving strategically, not choosing, not moving, not creating until it's the purest directive from source. Can you imagine this? You simplify everything. Until it's the purest directive from source, you stay still. And you're clear on that pure directive. You can hear, you can feel, you know the directive from source or from genius. And you move. And you move. And you only move when it's a pure directive from source and nothing else, or a pure directive from genius and nothing else. The level of faith, the level of courage, the level of trust, the listening skills, the clarity comes online because you're not in your head, you're in stillness the whole time, and then you get the purest directive and you move. And then you get another pure directive and then you move and you begin to learn the art of downloading the blueprint that has never been created before because it doesn't exist yet. You're here to create the new. How are you going to innovate? Where is it going to come from? It only comes from the infinite field. That's how us innovators work, through downloading the futuristic idea that we're here to build or create or guide. And so this is how I operate, and this is something that I just want to activate for you because it's just going to simplify so much. You're not going to waste your time on pure intellect or pure logic. You're not going to waste your time on that. You're not going to leak your energy. You're not going to be spread too thin. You stay still, which is the answer to enlightenment, ego dissolution or integration, and pure knowing, pure consciousness. So I've got a whole heap of activations here ready to go for you, but that's just what's coming through. Let's simplify everything for you guys. You don't need to know anything. You don't need to read the books. You don't need to do the programs. You don't need to do the courses. Yes, there is such thing as upskill. There's a time and place for upskilling. That's different. I'm talking about this. This is you learning how to decode the internal world and to learn how to be your own GPS and the driver of your own destiny, the architect of your own destiny, you and your genius. And this is how you navigate the unknown. And in the unknown, there are infinite possibilities. Because right now, I am very much in the unknown. I have no idea where my business is going right now. I've closed one chapter. I've opened up another chapter. It's all coming to fruition. And I'm not doubting it, and I'm not fearing it, and I'm not in scarcity. None of that. Can you imagine the level of faith that is required when you have nothing to fall onto? You have nothing to lean onto other than pure faith, pure trust. That's when you walk through the portal. That's when things come out of the nothing. That's when you find your path, you find your destiny, you find your next passion. So I want to read something to you from a book that I'm reading, Supernal Light, which is the light of the divine light. The coming one as individual human soul. The nature of the eternal human soul is Christ-like. Indeed, the causal body of every human being is constitute an agent of selfless and compassionate love. By this is meant that the solar angelic substance composing the causal body is a natural recipient and proxy of the Christ principle. In truth, the soul is the Christ within each and every one of us. When an individual begins to inwardly sense a higher prompting, it indicates that the process of awakening to the soul has begun. One recognizes one's own duality, and by doing so, becomes aware of a higher and lower dimension to her psychological nature. In time, this leads to the conviction that the loftier qualities of consciousness must be more fully expressed within the elements of the outer life. From a certain perspective, this marks the entrance onto the path. It is to hold the belief that the soul must be allowed to come forward and be the director of one's life. In this sense, the consciousness of the soul can therefore be considered a type of coming one as well. To those who have eyes to see it, it is clear that the disciple is in service to the three representations of the greater life: the Christ, the soul of humanity, and the wisdom of his individual soul. Each is a type of coming one that has relevance to every disciple traveling upon the path. Either directly or indirectly, each seeks to implement its agenda through the instrumentation of those disciples who are incarnate at this time in human history. And though the causal body is the most essential instrument in this regard, it is the disciple's lighted lamp that determines his measure of usefulness. Indeed, the lighted lamp is truly the agent of the coming ones. Its brightness defines its uplifting influence. On behalf of Christ, The disciples' lighted lamp acts as a beacon of selfless love in support of humanity's redemption when in service to the soul of humanity. It projects the energy of synthesis to facilitate the realization that we are essentially one. And when it is functioning as the agent of individual soul, then the wisdom and love of the causal body has an outpost of expression within the immediacy of one's life of service. Of the differing expressions of the coming one, it is the coming of the individual human soul that is the central focus of our attention. Both Christ and the soul of humanity are dedicated to the welfare and upliftment of the human kingdom. Yet at this time in human history, the degree of success to be achieved by the Christ and the soul of humanity largely rests upon the shoulders of the disciples of the world, and their ability to shine forth the wisdom and love of their individual causal bodies, the Christ within, in service to humanity's betterment. So take that for what it is, but there does come a time where we just need to say enough is enough, and the only thing that matters more than anything is my spiritual path and my connection to my purpose and my relationship with the Creator. And I want to activate this for you in a loving and easy way, so that you can continue to have the realizations of who you are and what you came here to do without being in your head about it. Whatever you think it is, it's not that, basically. But it says here, the destiny of every human soul is to render service to a world in need. It is to express one's wisdom and love as a force of betterment to others. When this begins to occur, life will never be the same. For to be stirred by the soul is to become an agent of supernal light in service to humanity's upliftment. And it's interesting that I'm reading that, because I really was going to say to you guys that it's true. Life will never be the same. Like, I was actually going to say that to you. When you operate as light, as the light. And some people think that, you're going to trigger a lot of people's shadow by being pure light. Maybe, maybe not. But you know what it's like to be in unconditional love and compassion and selfless love. You know what it's like. You know what you need to do. You don't need guidance when it comes to that. It's simply attention. It's time to focus. And it's not going to be hard work, because you're born for this. You're made for this. The only hard part is to just unhook yourself from the things that don't really matter, and give yourself the space and dedication and devotion. Like, now it's gotten to a point where it's like there's no room for distraction. There's no room for distraction. So just keep breathing throughout this transmission. Keep meditating throughout this transmission to really receive the codes here and the activations. So humanity has entered into a stage of evolution where our choices will either lead us to a promising future or towards our eventual demise. Such is the reality of these times. Yet it must be remembered that crisis is the prelude to all expansions of consciousness. This is true whether we consider the consciousness of a human being or the humanity as a whole. At this time in history, the soul of humanity is emerging, and it does so through the challenge of world crisis. As a prelude to this subject, it must be remembered that humanity is considered a single living entity. To some, this idea may seem foreign and strange. However, the oneness of humanity has been a notion held by many theologies and philosophies throughout history. We recognize our oneness as a function of our humanness. We all have the same basic needs and yearnings in life. In itself, this realization can bring us closer. However, humanity's oneness is far deeper than this. Esoterically considered, humanity is viewed as a single life expression. It is not simply a collection of 7 billion human beings, but it is a being in of itself. It too has a soul and a personality, a higher and lower consciousness. In truth, it is our collective soul of which we must gain an appreciation. As individuals, we are not separate from the beingness of humanity, but are cells of livingness within the soul of humanity. The nature of the individual human soul and its container, the causal body, can be understood in a variety of ways. It has been defined as a layer of human consciousness imbued with selfless love. It also represents the wisdom garnered during the course of countless incarnations. Simply speaking, soul represents the sum total of the best of an individual's inner nature. It is that which carries forward from one incarnation to the next and is the level of consciousness where heart and mind cooperatively unite. Now, that's a really important point. In order to be in that initiated Christ-like state, we do need silence of the mind. We do. Instead of the mind having a life of its own, it becomes integrated fully with the heart, fully in oneness with the heart, completely in service to the heart, completely. So what we're going to do is we're going to meditate and unlock the path for you. And you're going to have the realization and the revelation. The realization and the revelation come through from this activation and for the next 2 weeks. And in the next 2 weeks, you're just going to be in this experience of coming home to your truth, to the highest truth, being integrated to the collective soul of humanity and integrated to the collective soul of the cosmos, and to be connected to the collective soul of all that is. So all the layers, beyond humanity, beyond the cosmos. And we're just going to create this beautiful integration, just like the head and the heart and the gut are integrated and coherent. You are coherent with the highest soul of all that is. And so it's a direct transmission. You are a direct channel. And this can be applied in the context of relationships, in the context of business, forging your own path, fulfilling your destiny, your unique purpose, and at the same time staying present throughout the day. Because when you're operating in stillness all the time, and then you get the directives, and then you operate in stillness, and then you get the directives, this is a powerful place to be, where peace actually takes form in your life. You live in peace. You live in a higher realm of existence, which is why I created the Heaven on Earth portal. Because, some people might say, well, in a world of duality, heaven on earth isn't really realistic, because, you're going to have challenges, you're going to have things going on in order for you to grow and ascend. And I agree with that. There's still going to be pain. There's still going to be, death. There's still going to be all of that. But the way that you see it is you see it from a different lens. Just like we read in the book, that what's going on right now with some of the things that are happening in the world, it's just part of its evolution. It's the growing pains, it's the destruction of the old and the creation of the new. And it's the same with whatever's going on. I no longer panic, and I no longer react and see things from like a downward spiral of, oh no, oh shit, like this is bad, because there is this true connection to eternity. And seeing it for what it is, as evolution, as growth, as expansion. And this is the baseline reality that I want for you guys. So I want you to take a deep breath in. And I want to teach you, through the creator's perspective and definition, the superconsciousness command, of what it feels like to feel happiness within, from within, and what that feels like. Because this is a celestial body activation, and the celestial body is the sixth body from the physical body, and its plane is spiritual. It's a higher feeling. It's about loving universally. It's about unconditional love and spiritual ecstasy, and its element is the light. It's composed of light at an intuitive level that gives us access to higher qualities of feelings, thoughts, and manifestations. Okay, so it combines the necessities of choices and consequences with the truth of universal love and support. It disposes all veils and allows the truth to be seen. Allows you to tap into your higher truth for creating images that can be actualized in physical reality. So I want you to know what it feels like to experience happiness from within, to generate happiness from within. We're going to create that neurological connection and activate your celestial body. I'm going to teach you to appreciate the life that you have, and what that feels like, and knowing what that feels like, so that you know how and what it feels like, the creator's perspective and definition of being inspired by life, where you know how to make your own decisions and you feel safe, worthy, and deserving to do so. But think about the breadth and depth of that, making your own decisions. Like, in reality, we collectively have all been following someone else's blueprint. Someone else has the answer. The schooling system, the parental system, the family system, friends, family. Like, it takes a very spiritually connected individual to truly decide from inside the soul. Yeah? So can you imagine what I'm saying here is making your own decisions, like making your own decisions and being masterful in doing so. Living without and knowing how to live without, seeking outside guidance. And this is where I'm at. I've got a lot of opportunities to work with other people, to study other things, and I just don't want to. I really just want to be from inside out innovative, really connecting to my channel at the deepest level. So take this activation for what it is. An overall state of bliss. An overall state of bliss. Would you like to know what it feels like to live from that expression? To live from that coherence? To live from that vibration of an overall state of bliss? Now I'm just going to move on to something else for a second. Would you like to live without and know who you are without feeling defensive in self-protection and guardedness within your pelvis? Living without and knowing how to live without, I can't bear the responsibility and the vulnerability or the worth validation. Would you like to know who you are from the energy, expression, and identity of personal power and meaningful selfhood? Would you like that in your pelvis? Would you like to know how to live without being security starved and rejection paranoid? Knowing who you are without needing external validation on all levels and dimensions. Would you like to know how to forgive yourself for any past life, in any past life, including this life of your past life, where there was worth validation and acceptance seeking through sexual experiences or sensual expressions, whether it's sexually obsessed, super sexual, or hypersensual, or self-withholding? And would you like to know who you are without any fear of letting go of all stored up emotions? So we're now integrating the celestial body with the physical body and stored frequencies within the pelvis. Would you like to know who you are and how to live your day-to-day life without a great fear and resistance to the process of life? Can we ask your superconscious to release that? That you know who you are without tension, anxiety, emotional conflict, and traumatic shock within your gestalt the memories of your life experience as well as stored in your body, whether it's in your ovaries or elsewhere. Would you like to release any past life trauma of a blame throwing dysfunctional family and to close that chapter of your life and to release that energy once and for all? That you know how to live without egotism, selfishness, and dishonest feelings being expressed in an ignorant manner, that you know who you are without that. And that you know what it feels like to release any karma around past life history of severe abuse. So what we're working on here is some of the energies around fertility and infertility. Would you like to release any sort of in over your head, cold-hearted energy from past lives now? Would you like to know who you are without being caught up in inflamed thinking? Fearfully enraged and seeing red? Implication anxiety and implication anger about everything that is going on in your life. Would you like to know who you are without that? How to release that? Feeling safe, worthy, and deserving. Thank you. It is done. It is done. It is done. So this is now inflammation. We're releasing inflammation from the body. Thank you. It is done. It is done. It is done. Would you like to know who you are without any flare-ups of irritation, annoyance, and anger arising out of chronic resentment of a situation that has gone over the top? Would you like to know who you are and how to live your day-to-day life without inner conflict and generalized hostility that has taken on a physical form? That you know how to live without being stressed about current circumstances? That you know who you are without being very angry? That you know how to live without annoyance, fury, suspiciousness about everything that is happening around you? And that you know how to release the root cause where infection started in a dysfunctional family in which nothing worked right and nothing could effectively be done about it. So we're releasing infection here. Would you like that? Would you like to know who you are without feeling spineless in any lifetime multidimensional experience? That you know how to live without and know who you are without letting unacceptable things happen around you. That you know how to live without being afraid of consequences, of taking a stand. And that you know how to live without trauma relating to coercive, chaotic, dysfunctional, and domineering family experiences. Would you like that? Would you like to know who you are without a core conflict about being here? That you know who you are and how to live your day-to-day life without any belief or inability to flow with the support available in life. that you can trust life, that you can live without feeling that you are at deep risk, that you know how to live without a lack of integrity, that you know what it feels like to have full integrity, that you know how to feel this, that you know how to embody this, and it feels safe, worthy, and deserving of having full integrity embodied. Would you like to know how to live without carrying the burden of life single-handedly with a helpless and hopeless feeling? Can we cleanse, clear, and release all of these energies now? Send them into God's light, send them into the earth's core to be transformed, transmuted through pure light, pure love, pure abundance, pure light, pure love, pure abundance, pure intention, pure truth, pure alchemy. Thank you. It is done. It is done. It is done. Would you like to know who you are without an overload of responsibility, and how to live your day-to-day life without an overload of responsibility? That you know how to live without being forced to bend to the will of severely dominating energies. And would you like to know how to live without any tendencies to buckle under pressure from authority? And that you know how to live your day-to-day life without extremely oppressive pressure? Would you like that? So that was scoliosis, or any curvature of the spine, that we've just released some of the programs there. You can rub some of the areas where you do have scoliosis. I have scoliosis. So just activate that. Would you like to know how to live without always having to carry an excessive load of responsibility for the state and needs of your environment? Would you like to know how to live without that? And would you like to know how to live without taking care of your own needs from the very beginning? And would you like to know who you are and how to live your day-to-day life without feeling that there is no one there for you? Would you like to know how to live your day-to-day life without fearing abuse of power and suppressed and conflicted sexuality? Would you like to release this in the sacroiliac? That you know how to live without feeling that others will misuse power, particularly that of sexually. That you know how to live without feeling poorly integrated with the world around you, as if you're in the wrong place. Would you like to live without that? Would you like to know how to live without feeling in over your head, where there is uncertainty as to how to proceed and how to handle the world on its terms? And that you know how to live without feeling like a child in an adult role, like in the movie Big? Would you like to know who you are without self-shame? That you know how to live without self-distrust and confusion as to how to deal with your feelings, desires, and intentions? That you know how to live without, and you know who you are without feeling guilty for your personal potency and ashamed of your sexuality? Would you like to release this from any past life, this life, within the sacroiliac? Would you like to know how to live without any identity irritation? When there is self-suppression and self-avoidance and self-rejection, would you like to know who you are without that? Say yes. Think it is done, it is done, it is done. Clearing it all from the multidimensional field through pure source light, pure unconditional love, pure truth, pure intention, the quantum and the quantum wave function. Re-scripting, recoding, alchemizing the energies, witnessing you living without this, witnessing you transform and evolve in a loving and easy way. Thank you. It is done. It is done. It is done. That you know how to live without. Would you like to know how to live without rejection, expecting, self-encasement reaction, where you feel like you're never allowed to be yourself, in the convenience, concerned, and rejection of family? Would you like to know how to live without that trauma history energy, and that you know how to live without emotional suppression? That you know who you are without chest problems, whether it's a fear of expressing, focusing, translating, and amplifying your feelings, where there is feeling avoidance. Would you like to live without that? That you know how to live without putting on a good front, that you can be honest with yourself without suppression. That you know how to live without feeling brokenhearted. That you know who you are without sadness, sorrow, the inability to form intimate connections and relationships, to manifest and express love, and to receive nurturance due to the fear of being real about your hurt heart. Would you like to release that? Would you like to release any early sexual repression and sexploitive trauma to which too much nurturance and adult responsibility were required of you, in which the parent-child relationship and the personal boundaries were violated? Would you like to release that? Knowing who you are without that, knowing that it's safe and possible and that you're worthy and deserving. Would you like to release any deep resentment over the excessive role expectations and invasive exploitation? That you know how to live without being a product in any lifetime of over requiring, boundary violating, and supremely self-immersed family. Would you like to know how to live without that? Now that was chest problems. We're going to move on to thigh problems. Thigh problems. And even if you don't have thigh problems, take the psychological balance for your multi-dimensional self. Would you like to know how to live without copeability anxiety? That you know how to live your day-to-day life without paralysis of action, an immobilization, a fear of the future at present. That you know how to live without strong fears concerning your having inadequate capacity, potency, and strength. That you know how to live without being success avoidant, that you know who you are without that, or self-restricting and denying yourself of support. Would you like to know who you are and how to live your day-to-day life without feeling unlovable, or that you are vulnerability, intimacy, and sexuality avoidant? Would you like to cleanse, clear, and release this from your identity, from your bodies? That you know how to be systematically, that you know how to live without systematically confidence undermined, and that you know how to live without your sense of worth consistently denigrated by a possessive family, whether this is in this lifetime or past lifetimes, we're cleansing it now. That you know how to live without stored grief all over your body, creating deprivation and sexploitation, and severe issues about a lack of support and strength to support. That you know how to live without feeling sabotaged by your family, where there is a prevention, there is a restriction in your capacity to cope, succeed, connect, and be involved in intimacy. Would you like to know how to live without that? Would you like to know how to live without damage control? That you know how to live without, and you know who you are without major conflicts regarding how you go about manifesting your strength and providing your self-support. That you know how to live without a difficulty accepting commitments in the world and giving support to friends, co-workers, and colleagues. That you know how to live without distrusting and not knowing how to relate to the fellow workers and fellow travelers in the world at large. Would you like to release this from your right eye? Would you like to release and know who you are without? I don't know how to handle the world of manifestation, environmental impact, and legacy leaving very well, because all of that was systematically undermined in childhood. Would you like to release that? That you know how to release the belief, the feeling, the conditioning of, am I up to it? Would you like to know who you are without being unsure of your personal potency and strength? That you know how to live without feeling a difficulty in receiving support with intimate love and with sexual connection. That you know how to live without sexual shame, sexual guilt, incest avoidance. That you know how to live without emotionally inhibition in sexuality. We're releasing this all from your thighs. Would you like to know how to live without high testosterone or hormonal problems? Knowing who you are and how to live your day-to-day life without aggressive, overbearing, excessively willful, and insensitive in functioning. That you know how to live without deep competence anxiety, a lack of confidence in yourself, and the very basis of understanding and functioning. That you know how to live without feeling that your beingness is insufficient to the cause of living. That you know how to live without. Would you like to know how to live without and who you are without feeling frustration about what the future seems to be going, about where the future seems to be going? Would you like to release all resentment and anger around this, so that you do have trust and faith at the deepest level? Now, would you like to know who you are self-assured? That you know how to live without feeling outclassed and overwhelmed by the world in a powerless sort of way? Do you know how to live without cosmic abandonment, feeling expelled from the Garden of Eden for the being of who you are? That you now know what it feels like to have this inner self, higher self intimacy, living without and knowing how to live without deep self rejection, depression. Would you like to know how to live without self numbing? That you know how to live without feeling like you were stuck in a family situation where you were totally dependent and you felt like you couldn't escape, which created a self numbing mechanism or an addiction. Would you like to know how to live without that? Take a deep breath in. We're healing all these parts of your body and all the psychological connections, psycho-spiritual connections, psychosomatic connections. Same, different. Breathing in. Superconsciousness is commanded to activate all these downloads in a loving and easy way through the seventh plane of existence, pure source light, through the witnessing of the quantum and quantum wave function, shifting, changing, alchemizing, moving through the energy of all that is, creating a portal of pure light, pure love, pure truth, pure intentionality, pure consciousness, pure grounding. Thank you. It is done. It is done. It is done. Thank you. It is done. It is done. It is done. Just gonna see if I can include anything else in there. Would you like to know who you are without Speedy Gonzalez pattern? How to live without a headlong rushing behavior? Like, you know how to live without speeding bullet behavior? That you know who you are without needing to create outcomes and execution from a speedy delivery. That you know how to live without feeling forever afraid of not doing things fast enough. And that you know who you are without being frenetic and frantic energy. That you know how to live without an underlying fear, rage, despair about being so incompetent and troublesome. That you know how to live without and who you are without resignation to doom. That you know how to live without comparing yourself to everyone else has the secret to success and they will never have, and that you will never have that. And you know how to live without needing, having to, being attached to, having this motive to try to keep things finished and over with as quickly as possible. Would you like that? Would you like to know who you are without any sorrow addiction? Helpless, hopeless, hapless feelings, overwhelmed, and that we transmute these energies, or any guilt-inducing manipulation energies. Would you like to know who you are and how to live your day-to-day life without being a procrastinator? Competency, anxiety, or fear of failure. That you know how to live without being caught up in a pleasure priority pattern and a responsibility undermining parenting trauma. Would you like to know how to live without sacrum problems in the spinal cord and pelvis connection? That you know how to live without sexual shame. That you know who you are and how to live your day-to-day life without suffering from sexual guilt and shame induced by sexual exploitive, seductive, destructive energy across all multidimensional fields. That you know how to live without feeling utterly powerless to do anything about your situation. Thank you. It is done. It is done. It is done. Now I'm just going to activate your atlas, the first cervical vertebra, and the second, the axis. Would you like to know who you are without feeling not good enough? That you know what it feels like to experience God's support and the divine intellect input. That you know how to live without coming from fear, confusion, and endless inner chatter. That you know how to live without running from life, ostracism, paranoia, and fear of failure arising from a strong feeling of not being worthy and sufficient to the cause. Would you like to know how to live without being expected to perform to perfection in order to receive love and validation? Would you like to know how to live without that? Would you like to know who you are without any inhibition of the ability to develop your breadth of understanding and comprehension? That you know how to live without a rejection of wisdom? Would you like to release that now? Thank you. It is done. It is done. It is done. I'm in a really deep trance, so I know energy is moving. I can feel it moving. We're going to, I can really feel it, like really, really. So I want you to drink heaps of water after this session. Listen to the session again. We just did some downloads. We activated your truest priority of purpose, your true attention and focal point, no distractions. We activated your purpose, which is so unique to you. We've activated clarity and integration between your body and the heart of humanity, the heart of the cosmos, the heart of truth, the heart of all that is. We've released some stored psychological frequencies in your body, such as the hips, such as the neck, and the hips, the neck, and some patterns relating to inflammation. We've activated your celestial body, and the embodiment of the celestial body is this. So just have your eyes closed, take a deep breath in. This is the embodiment. This is who you are when your celestial body is in full balance. I see, trust, and feel connected to something far greater than me. I see the light while remaining present in the now. I appreciate the beauty in all of life. I practice unconditional love each and every day. I feel whole and complete in who I am. I experience spiritual ecstasy. It creates space in my life for me. I'm grateful for where I am feeling an abundance of bliss. I'm confident in all I see, fully trusting my genius intuition to guide me. I am adequate, feeling content in all that I am and all that I do. Thank you. It is done. It is done. It is done. Superconsciousness, it is commanded that these downloads are integrated into the multidimensional field across all lifetimes, allowing this activation to be the command of true identity and embodiment, allowing this embodiment to support the overall vision of purpose and what it is that we are here to do in selfless service, with discernment on what selfless service is. Thank you. It is done. It is done. It is done. All right, my loves. Be the light. Connect to the light. Empty your mind. Eat really healthy and clean. Exercise every day. Hydrate yourself more than ever before. Make sure that you are super, super present in every given moment. I'm doing weight training every day now. It's in my living room. I'm doing like 3 pockets of like 20 minutes of weights. I feel better than I've ever felt before. I'm just toning up. Realize that weights, I've always known this, but it's just like aha moment. Weights is the way to go, baby, because it creates the shape. Like, I used to walk every day, and I still do walk, but it's just hotter now, so I find a period of the day. But I used to walk like 2-3 hours a day, and for the last 2 weeks I've just been doing weight training, and I feel so toned, so amazing, so in my body, and it gets better and better and better. Weight training, functional weight training, so sit-ups, lunges, like yogic poses with weight training, functional lunges, squats, leg raises, planks, just all functional movements with weights. It is unbelievable. Allow yourself to be the light, connect with the light. Right now, it is imperative that you focus your attention on the light and develop pure emotional intelligence. Emotions do not sway you at all. It is possible. I experience it. It really is a thing. And I'm transmitting that to you. And I feel energized already. Wow. I was really tired for a second there. I think something was shifting. So I'm just going to rest now. Before I say goodbye, I'm just going to give you an activation for the stomach meridian. I know how to let go of the need to be praised, rewarded, and accepted. I find the value within instead of in what money can buy. I communicate my needs to others. My needs are always understood. I know how to live without misunderstanding what others need from me. I know how to let go of the need to be praised, rewarded, and accepted. I know how to live without living for others. I know how to choose because I choose for myself, and I know how to live without the inability to choose because it is difficult to please everyone. I know how to live without feeling resentment and overthinking, over rationalization, following logic instead of intuition. I integrate those two worlds. I know how to live without the fear of hurting others, the fear of being alone, trying to protect others by directing them. I know how to live without needing to disconnect to avoid being hurt by other people. I know how to live without finding it hard to say no. I know how to live without other people taking my energy. I know how to live without I am other people. I know how to live without I need to be loved. I know that everything I need can be found inside. I know and feel and have compassion and empathy for myself. Thank you. It is done. It is done. It is done. Until next time, I won't be here on. I'll let you know. I'll create a event as to when I'm on next, but I can feel the shift. I can feel the shift. Well done. Well done. Well done. Enjoy. I'll be in touch about the next session.